Look, our business is a financial services company. We have a number of businesses across our brand, which is very exciting. And my role within that is basically people management, HR, recruitment, everything that really goes underneath that umbrella. I'm the counsellor when people are feeling upset. I am the reassurer when they're unsure about their roles. I'm the process police. I'm not the fun police because we like to have a bit of fun. And look, I do everything from bringing people into the business, helping exit them from the business, and all of that in between. So we actually had a business partner whose business is fully remote. I mean, he's based in the UK, but has built his business with fully remote teams across the world, really. And he recommended that the talent that he had received in South Africa was of really good value. So the skills they have are different, the volume of people is different than here in the UK, and it just really opened up our eyes to a completely different market. So it was based off a recommendation from a business partner. I think because it was a very new venture for us, the convenience of having a counterpart in South Africa was essential, really, to help us understand the law, to make sure that we have someone to help us manage staff and talk about the cultural differences, because there are cultural differences in between the UK and South Africa. So an employer of record to be able to ensure that we're treating people correctly, that also the expectations of the employee is shared with the employer of record, and then so that, you know, we could also ask for assistance if we had any issues or any questions. So you know, employment law is completely different here in the UK versus South Africa, so ensuring that everyone is getting the same and fair treatment, that's where I think an employer of record really came into play. And to be honest, we just did a very quick Google of employer of records in South Africa, and we spoke to a few, and obviously DNA obviously stood out to us. We have a variety of roles really around business support. So and the mindset between that was, instead of going specifically into one skill, is that we could have multi-skilled people within a business. So learning a financial services company can be overwhelming. So learning one area first, and then getting that business knowledge, that customer knowledge, and then potentially being able to move into different areas rather than having to recruit specifically certain areas. Now, there are, you know, business support, you start in certain areas, but once you master that, you can move into other areas. And the roles that we have are sort of customer service, sales, collections, gosh, that's pretty much it, really. But they're the high volume roles, and we've got, I think, 15, 16 across the two businesses at the moment, with only, I think, a handful of employees that didn't work out. So some of, not all, but some of the difficult conversations, it's really good for, you know, as long as we have gone through a process and it has to be reviewed by DNA anyway, we're really lucky that Natalie takes on well, I can have this conversation for you and I can do this for you, which is amazing. Like, by the time we get to that point, we'll have already had a number of conversations, and then this will be maybe the unfortunate conversation, or the conversation be like, you know, just pull your socks up, you're at risk here. Or if there's too many sickness absences, I can, you know, ask Natalie, just can you give me the trend as to what's going on here, because it seems like there's a bit more absence than usual. So I would say the admin and some of the difficult conversations. So our first two new hires will be celebrating their year anniversary at the beginning of August, which is really exciting, and we feel like that has gone super quickly. And some of the highlights, I would say, is definitely the support that we've received from DNA, and I'm going to speak especially to Natalie, because no task or no question is too silly, too big, or anything like that. She's always available to just jump on the phone and talk through a problem with me, and just ensuring that, you know, like that, we're following the rules, making sure that we have the paperwork that we need to move forward. It's managing people, right? So people in my position need other people in their position to bounce those ideas off, because you can sometimes get locked in a box and not see the bigger picture. So that support has been great. The surprising part, I think, more so on the South Africa side, would be just the employment law, how different it is, and how, I guess, it's really geared towards the employee rather than the employer, and sometimes at the detriment of the employer. So that's a little bit, that was a bit shocking. But also you can see the reasons for it as well, based on a country so big, trying to regulate, you know, making sure that everyone is being treated fairly. So we don't need any cowboys in this industry. Yeah, every day it's a learning, really. And I can't say that we're perfect at this very moment in time, but we're trying. So with the managers that they have, they've got continuous checkpoints and updates to make sure that they know what's going on in the business. We have a wider team catch up at the beginning of each month to talk about sort of the successes of the previous month. And then when we have a social here in the office, I hand over to the guys in South Africa, and they nominate a champion to arrange socials for them as well. And I encourage them to take pictures, send them over, and then I share with the wider business, so they can see that they're building those relationships too. So the majority of our staff is in Cape Town, and we've got a few in Johannesburg, and then a couple that are a little bit isolated by themselves, which is unfortunate that we can't kind of do everything for everyone, but we keep the communication lines open, and they seem to be happy enough. The protection it provides is worth it. And it allows, I guess, a business to be really hands-on with their employees, and then have a consultation or a consultant on the other side to be able to manage different things. Because, for instance, I'm aware that, you know, sometimes there are power outages in South Africa, and I can help. You know, it's really great to have that counterpart on that other side to be able to tell us what's going on if we can't get a hold of anyone. And it's all about the safe. I'm kind of probably talking about from a HR perspective now, from the safety of our employees, making sure that obviously they're okay. I would probably say the main reason is really just for business compliance as well, you know, ensuring that we're doing the right thing, to manage a potential cost if you did something wrong, to understand what's coming before it comes, I think is the main thing. Also, you know, the helping out with the contracts to ensure that it fits our business needs as well as the laws in South Africa. And I think that as a whole would probably be the best, the protection, the support, and then the understanding of the landscape that you're working in.